Hi, Raghav. This was promising, um, impressive to play without the score. However, given the small slip, maybe it's best to play with the music for the time being. I'm not sure what you think. It was upbeat playing. Be careful to phrase nicely, though, especially the legato. It was a bit uneven sometimes. You're holding your wrists very low sometimes below the keyboard, which doesn't look very natural to me. Maybe you could experiment a bit, sort of sitting higher if necessary, but keeping your wrist higher and relaxed. The relaxation is the most important. Hi, Yichen. This was a promising performance with some very nice and elegant phrasings. Be careful about the left hand playing too loudly, as it is the accompaniment in this piece. I noticed that you were watching your hands actually most of the time, and when you were looking up at the music, it almost seemed like it was distracting you. So I was thinking that maybe you're at the stage where you might want to dispense with the music, but it depends how you feel and what you're comfortable with. Also, there were plenty of repetitive passages in this piece in general, so it might be a good idea to think hard about how to vary everything and to sort of keep the listener engaged with this variety. Thank you very much, Isaac, for playing this piece by Haydn. Just one comment about appearance, it's just personal. Maybe the Macintosh you're wearing isn't ideal for performing in, but although I appreciate that it might have been very cold when you were playing. This Andante was very nicely played. You should focus most on rhythm, I think. Perhaps practicing with a metronome, because pulse is very important when playing pieces composed in the classical era, sort of to convey order and structure. Also, I was thinking maybe you can consider practicing hands separately, which might help with overall fluency. Well done, Agastya. This was confidently played, with good articulation, and impressive without using the score. I think I would like you to work most on phrasing and dynamics. The piece has many similar passages, it's a bit repetitive, and it could be interesting to think how to vary the piece. I think you should observe some of the slurs more carefully, especially at the ends of phrases. Um, I think also that the performance could be helped by using more contrast and dynamics, as you were kind of inclined to play the same kind of mezzo forte. However, this was a very enjoyable performance and well done. Thank you. This was a very enjoyable performance, Mikel. I felt that your confidence was improving throughout the performance, and but you really played with gusto. There were nice dynamic contrasts and clear differences in moods between the sections. It didn't stop you here, but I felt a bit uncomfortable about especially your left hand, your left wrist really, which was very low. I'm thinking that this might hold you back in the future, so I recommend aiming to hold it higher above the keyboard. But with relaxed arms, really relaxation is the key. I think that this will give you more freedom and also power in the long run. But I really enjoyed your performance and I would like to give you a high commendation. So well done, well played. Well done. This was an assured performance with good stage presence, nice finger work, especially these arpeggios, and promising use of phrasing overall. You kept the listener engaged through the repetitions of the piece, and it was impressive to play without the score, one or two slips notwithstanding. I think on that, just be careful about knowing the piece thoroughly and really studying the score before playing without the music. I think you can work a bit more on pedaling. It was sometimes just a little bit sloppy and not always responding to the changes of harmony. However, it was a very promising performance and I'm delighted to award you first place. So congratulations. Congratulations, Alan, on playing a really difficult piece without the score. You clearly have technique and ambition, but I think that now is the time to start honing your musicianship. It's definitely commendable to play without the score, but in this instance, I don't really think that it helped your cause. I think you need to be much more familiar with the details on the page before playing from memory, and I'm afraid that there were just a few too many slips, not only notes but also phrasings, sort of just dynamics and details on the score. Having shown the ambition to take on such a piece, I really want to be encouraging to you. And I think that in this case, that means recommending you to do research of different recordings. I mean, there are so many of them on YouTube. Considering what kind of touch and sound is appropriate for this work. I think that you have great promise, but in a competition, you could have chosen, I think, a less demanding work with or without the score, which might have had greater success. However, well done, and I really wish you the best in your musical journey. Thank you for this performance, Oliver. I think that there are several things to work on here, especially the touch. I really recommend to you listening to the whole set of 9 Valsschenen. This is one of Schumann's warmest and most intimate sets of pieces. And I would like to hear a more lyrical approach from you, paying attention to the melodic line and creating variety through the repetitions in this piece. You're playing the notes in an assured way, so I think now is the time to go a step further and to start exploring the really beautiful possibilities in this piece. Also, I'm just thinking you might want to consider your sitting position and maybe a little bit lower just to help with your relaxation. But thank you. Hi, Colin. This had some very promising intentions, although I just feel they were sometimes a little bit let down by the execution. You were using the score, which is completely fine at this stage, although I just sometimes felt like you were a bit trapped in it, which didn't help the communication with the audience. There were some very nice ideas in the phrasing, but just be careful of any kind of harsh or aggressive sounds in sound quality in this Chopin, because there really is no place at all for such a sound in this piece. I think also about your posture. I think you need a much straighter back because you might have problems with pains or discomfort in the future. But thank you very much for your performance. Thank you, Shirav, for your performance. I felt that you were a little bit nervous when performing, which was kind of a shame, really. I mean, I think it's always a shame when we don't manage to enjoy the performance at the end of all the practice. There were some nice moments, but overall, I think you really need to think more about the expression of the piece. maybe less left hand, more singing and lyrical right hand, and seeking sort of really quiet pianos, really quiet moments, and never forcing the sound, I think. I'm sure that you can play more successfully than you showed here, though, so good luck for the future. This was a confident performance of a demanding early work by Rachmaninov. You clearly have a developed musicality and technique. I'm wanting to hear more of the long lines in this piece, however. Texture is very important with Rachmaninov, with clear bass harmony, often very long phrases in the top, and then just real care and attention with the inner voices. I would like the left hand quavers to be toned down a bit in dynamic, but bring out the bass harmonic progressions clearly with the sustaining pedal. I think it's necessary to practice hands separately a lot with Rachmaninov. You brought really clear emotion and the feeling of pathos to the right hand. I do recommend examining the score carefully, the structure, exactly how to plan the climaxes, crescendos, diminuendos, etc. I'm saying these things because otherwise it was an assured and very promising performance, which I would like to give a high commendation for. So congrats. Well done on a really thoughtful and stylish performance of this work. You played with the score, which is fine. I would prefer maybe if you were a little less trapped inside the book and just playing more outwards to the audience. However, you've fulfilled many of Debussy's instructions and he is very meticulous on the page. And you played always with good sound, care, stylish rubato in places, and expressive range of dynamics. In future, aim for even greater atmosphere with pedaling. The harmony should almost hang in the air like a mist, and you can achieve such effects by experimenting with sort of half changes of pedal and fluttering. I think that a straighter back will also help in the future to avoid any sort of pain and discomfort. And do consider dispensing with a score as soon as you're comfortable. However, it was very enjoyable performance, and I'm delighted to award you the first prize. So congratulations. Thank you.